I'm presenting a case clarifying the diagnosis and management of isolated left common carotid artery. We had a 5 years old boy who came with complaints of increased precordial activity and failure to thrive. He had bounding pulses with normal saturation. Cardiomegaly with hyperdynamic LV apex was there, with LV S3 and MDM at apex. Cutaneous murmur was heard at left infraclavicular area. There was mild facial dysmorphism. Clinical diagnosis of a PDA was made. Echocardiogram showed LALV volume overload with the flow into the pulmonary arteries in short axis view, but in standard ductal view, a PDA was not seen at its usual location. Also, the arch was right-sided with unclear branching pattern. An entire arch was not seen in single frame. Suspecting an arch abnormality and unusual PDA, we went ahead with a cardiac CT angiogram, which revealed a circumflex right aortic arch with isolation of left common carotid artery arising from main pulmonary artery just before its bifurcation, and R kappa, RC coming from the base of this isolated carotid artery. To clarify hemodynamics further, we went ahead with a cardiac catheterization. There was 13% step up at pulmonary artery level with QPQS of 1.7, EF of 78, with PV resting ratio of 0.2. Aortic root angiogram and frontal projection showed right arch with left descent, apparent descent of an artery with common diverticulum. In cerebral lever phase, a channel is seen filling the pulmonary arteries. This channel was isolated carotid artery of the left side, which was causing cerebral steal. Left coronary angiogram showed filling of RCA by good collateral circulation. So we planned to reimplant the carotid artery and RCA to aorta, but because of chronic cerebral steal, perfusion characteristics of brain were not known. Hence, neuroimaging was planned. MRI brain showed normal structural parenchyma with complete circle of Willis. Off-pump surgery was done under continuous NIRS monitoring, and carotid artery was harvested from the pulmonary artery and implanted to the aorta in an end-to-side fashion. The RCA got damaged while reimplantation and had to be sacrificed. He was extubated on the day of surgery. Infusions were tapered off by second post-op day, but on third post-op day, the pressure started increasing with appearance of left-sided facial puffiness. Over the next 24 hours, the pressures increased further with appearance of features of raised intracranial pressure. Infusions were brought in to control the pressures, but there was minimal response. CT at this stage showed left-sided changes of press. As we struggled to control his pressures, we searched for similar scenarios which could mimic this condition, and we came across an entity called cerebral hyperperfusion syndrome secondary to carotid endarterectomy or carotid artery stenting in adult patients, which is a high catecholamine state and responds to sympathetic agents only, and dilators may be harmful. So we brought in clonidine and there was a wonderful response. We could taper off the infusions over next 24 hours and the swelling also started subsiding. Over next 3 to 4 days, the pressures normalized. The child was discharged at the end of 2 weeks post-op, and at 1 year of follow-up, he's doing good. Isolation of carotid is a very rare arch abnormality with only 15 cases reported so far. Association with Church syndrome and Dietzert syndrome is seen. A child was negative for Dietzert syndrome. Additional arterial duct or ductal ligament is seen in 60% of patients on the same side. Our patient also had a ductal ligament which was divided. Management involves either carotid reimplantation like done in our patient or carotid ligation to abolish the left to right shunt. So coming to the embryologic hypothesis, according to Edwards double arch model, it is stated that the left fourth arch disappears and the third arch connects to the pulmonary artery via ductus arteriosus. But presence of ductal ligament or ductus arteriosus on the same side in 60% of patients refutes this theory because two ductus can't be present on the same side in a patient. Other theory is the abnormal septation of truncoaortic sac, which states that the left fourth arch disappears, but the left third arch connects directly to the pulmonary artery. Also, presence of R kappa in our case supports this theory. The histopathological features of the tissue obtained from the base of the isolated carotid artery in our patient had features of elastic artery, clearing that the PDA doesn't mediate the connection between the pulmonary artery and the carotid artery. To conclude, unusual location of a left to right shunt at great artery level should lead to suspicion of an arch vessel abnormality. CT is the best modality to evaluate arch. Drawing parallels to similar physiological situations leads to correct management pathway, and team approach is always best for patient management in such complex scenarios. Thank you.
Dr. Sakshi, this is Dr. C. Reddy here. That's an excellent presentation. I have three questions for you. Number one, you